the forces of nature. We analyze them, decide on our standpoint, and then develop a tactic to use them to our advantage. We thus turn the tide using ingenious, effective means. Rising heating costs, mustiness and mould. Damp brickwork will considerably lower the value of your house. Identifying the cause of damp walls is complicated and drawn out. Repairing the damage, time-consuming and expensive. But there is an alternative. Instead of turning your cellar into a building site for a few weeks, we recommend AQUAMAT. AQUAMAT is an ingenious system which uses the laws of nature to dry out your walls. It's kind on the environment and on your nerves because it works without any chemical substances and involves no construction work. What's more, it's kind on your budget. You'll love AQUAMAT because it will make sure your brickwork becomes dry again and stays that way. The technique that AQUAMAT uses is known as wireless electro-osmosis, a European patent developed in Switzerland, which puts an end to rising damp in concrete, brick, stone or mixed walls. To find out more about it, begin by thinking back to your chemistry lessons. The experiment. A U-shaped tube is filled with water, with a permeable layer or a porous substance in the middle. This layer is known as semi-permeable. The layer separates the two sides, but because it is permeable, the water is distributed equally on either side. If we now connect a negative charge to one end of the tube, we can observe that the water gradually decreases on the side of the positive pole and increases on the side of the negative pole. This is precisely the effect used in the AQUAMAT technique, taking the walls of your house as the permeable layer. If the damp proof in a wall is defect or, as in some old buildings, non-existent, moisture from the ground can penetrate the walls and rise. The negative charge of a house is at the top of the walls, which enables the damp to creep further and further upwards. AQUAMAT uses this physical principle in the reverse direction. After installation, it sends out long waves. The top half of such a wave is positive, the lower half negative. AQUAMAT, however, only allows the upper half through, while the negative half is earthed, that is, discharged, for example, to an electric socket. The result is that the walls regain a positive charge, the effect you know from the chemistry lessons. The water in the walls is discharged back into the earth, the minus pole, or dissolves naturally. The AQUAMAT system guarantees the permanent positive charging of your walls, ensuring that the rising damp does not return. To guarantee that the physical law can be applied successfully, we examine your walls before installing AQUAMAT and set up measuring points to document the drying progress. The installation itself is straightforward and clean. The system is installed in a suitable place and connected to the mains. Energy costs are estimated at under €10 per year. Once it has been set and adjusted, the AQUAMAT system performs its job fully automatically with no need for maintenance. After 3 months, we monitor the success of the drying process. The AQUAMAT system has received awards at Adventures fairs in Basel, Geneva and Nuremberg. An elegant, cost-saving way of removing rising damp in brickwork, concludes the Bundesbaublatt. The ecological appraisal of the Concept Grün Institute in Munich attests that AQUAMAT has practically no direct and only minimal indirect effects on the environment, without any discernible risk potential. The assembly and operation of AQUAMAT were examined for their effects on air, soil, water, and humans. We can assure you of the result. rising damp will disappear from your walls without construction work, so your home remains habitable throughout with minimal intervention. AQUAMAT is particularly ideal for masonry and registered buildings and permanent. Once it's working, AQUAMAT does not let any rising damp creep back into your home. The wireless electro-osmosis system is based on the forces of nature, which you can use to full effect with the AQUAMAT.